Dispositions are the values, commitments, and professional ethics that influence everything a teacher does. These affect learning, motivation, and development, not only in the students, but in the teacher as well. The first question: what dispositions do you possess that you think will make you a successful teacher? Before I answer this, when I took the um, assessment, I scored high in all of them. Um, so there were a few that I had to choose from that I think I relate with the most. The first is the respect for the diversity of others. It's very important that we understand that we're all different, that we all come from different backgrounds, different cultures, different genders, different stories. And those stories help develop who we are as people and how we learn. It's something that I've been able to experience throughout my life. I lived in Mexico for a few years, living in a different culture and being, I don't want to say the outsider. It wasn't an outsider, but just being the minority, if you will. It gives you perspective. So I have that. Also, being gay, and again, having a different story than someone else. And even when you look at the educational system, it is definitely influenced by white straight men. So having that as an experience of my own to then reach students is, I think, a great thing. Again, understanding that we all come from we all have different stories. The second disposition that I think will help make me a successful teacher is reflection. I'm always looking at what I've done and how I can make it better. If it succeeded, or if it failed, what can I do to change it so that it will be successful the next time? I work with the school buses in our school district, so there's a lot of opportunity for this to see what I've done right and what I've done wrong and how can I change for next year. The beauty of it is that every decision, and this kind of goes into the next disposition, is honesty, is every decision that I make, I know is one of integrity and one of honesty. So even when I make a mistake, it's not the end of the world because I'm making this decision based on what I know and also what's good for the student. Even in transportation, routing a bus to go down this street or that street is based on students, specifically special needs. You need to make sure that the bus is on the correct side of the road so that the student doesn't have to cross. There's situations when you do have to cross, and is it going to work for that kiddo? Yes or no? So with that, again, I speak truthfully. I have integrity, and then I'm also student-centered decision making. I am making decisions based on students and what is safe for them in my job currently. But as a teacher, it would be what is safe, but also what is going to make them succeed. What is going to help? What is it going to be that will help them succeed? And pardon me, my computer goes to sleep every time I stop using the keyboard. The next question is, what dispositions do you need to work on before you enter the classroom as a first-year teacher? And provide examples of how you plan to uphold these dispositions in the classroom. I have one of them, but I do want to go back. I think it's one of my strengths, but it's also my weakness. I believe it was reflection. Sometimes it's easy to stray away from the hard things. I don't like confrontation, which is really going to be part of this and the next disposition I'm going to talk about, but I don't like confrontation. And so if somebody says my work is wrong or it's bad or didn't succeed, I'm going to dwell on that way too much. Not that I won't do anything about it, but mentally I won't. It will affect me. So the reflection, how I can work through that is, I think, just being in that daily headspace of really looking at how did the day go, what went well, what didn't go well, and how do we improve for tomorrow. Doing that each day, then I can do a weekly summary, what went well, what didn't go well. Again, this is the beauty of working with people, children and adults, is you can make a mistake. Again, not something that's going to be life threatening, but you can make a mistake. I've made the mistakes on a bus where I raise my voice. You go back and you apologize. And this is kind of goes back into that honesty of letting students and staff know that you are a human being and you have emotions and you have faults, but going back to say, I'm sorry, that wasn't appropriate. The second disposition that I think I need to work on as a first year teacher would be high expectations. This one's challenging for me because I want everyone to have a good time. Like I said, I don't like conflict, but in this, I'm thinking like noticing weaknesses in students and confronting them will be difficult, especially, I get along with people. I like to joke around, and sometimes you can't do that. It's not a time of joking. It's a time to be serious. And especially if it's something that the kiddo is struggling with, well, whether it be a learning disability or just can't get quite to understand what's being taught, it will be difficult because I'll just want to be like, oh, it's okay. You'll do better next time. When I don't think that always helps. So what I will strive to do is keep reminding myself that it doesn't benefit the student to just always be the jokester. We really have to have the tough conversations and then have them be a part of the goal processing, the goal planning and setting, so that they can be a part of that too. Again, going back to student-based decision making. What's best for the student? Is what's best me having this tough, fierce conversation with them? Then I need to do it. Again, this is easier said than done, but it's something that can easily happen. And the last question is, how do the dispositions demonstrate your ability to understand cultures? There's two more questions, sorry. Understand cultures, genders, and learning differences to build stronger relationships with students and families. I've always been good with people, getting to know them, making them feel safe and cared for. Fairness doesn't always mean things are equal. Diversity and equity go further than things being the same. Sometimes a kiddo might need a little extra help here, and this kiddo doesn't. It's not unfair, it's just different. If you don't understand this, then that's when these biases sneak in and can affect our teaching. This includes students falling behind in learning due to these biases based on culture, gender, and learning differences. The example is the challenging student that is screaming every day in class. That kiddo still deserves an education. And we as teachers need to have compassion and then start to brainstorm, how do we reach this kiddo? How do we prevent the outbursts in class? How do we prevent the outbursts on the bus? This is part of being a teacher. And this goes into the last one about how to use feedback in my annual review, performance review, observation, and data on student performance to adjust dispositions and teaching practices to benefit learning. Wow. Sorry. How do I use this feedback? The evaluation is going to show me, am I interacting appropriately and professionally with my coworkers? Am I collaborating with them? Am I not? I would hope my principal would tell me this. The second part is the data on student performance. I would hope that would show me if kids are failing, my tactics and strategies aren't working. So how do I fix that? If they are succeeding, then my tactics and strategies are working. How do I improve them? And then how can I share those with other coworkers, maybe coworkers that are not having a great time reaching kiddos and helping them succeed. So it definitely takes a village to do all of this, and I'm excited. Thank you.